I too would like to welcome you here to Blue Creek, Utah Crops. We've had some good things go on in this old shop before, but I don't think we've had anything like this. Just sitting here listening to this conversation was going on was a good thing, because there's a lot of ideas and things that's been talked about and transported back and forth. We appreciate you coming, and just feel free as you're here before you head over to the experimental farm to look around and see the things here. Originally, in the orange, it's got original big field property first purchased back in the late 40s. The Garland Stake and President Potter, along with the approval of the general authorities, purchased 2,400 acres here. And this became known as the Big Field Church Farm. The reason it's Big Field is because out here to the south, there was a field that was 1,200 acres without anything, any other fields in it. And it had cedar posts that were cut off exactly the same all the way around it. And needless to say, those fences have been taken out, and we're on to doing other things. That's the original sign of the Big Field Farm. That's some of the general authorities that were here in the late 40s on an old Massey Harris combine. I'm sure some of you harvested with that combine. Later on in the 80s, the church purchased some property from a couple of farmers, and that brought our acreage up to about 4,800 acres. Then a few years ago, the church purchased some additional property from a couple of farmers here, and with this acreage, we also bought some property in Idaho. Then about a year ago, or a little more, year and a half ago, the church purchased some property down in the Howell area, and so that brings our acreage up to about 10,000 acres. And needless to say, this is a monumental cover, this many acres, because we were used to not farming this much before, and this has been a real challenge. You'll notice on this picture here, right in here is the edge of the where the header went. Over here is where it's been cut. This is a stripper header on this combine, and with that we've been able to increase our residue and help in the soil erosion that's been happening on the farm for many years. This is an aerial shot of, you can see some activity down here at the valley exit. That'll be the new center for Blue Creek. There's going to be some things put there, some bins and a shop and things like that. We are unable to get in here in the winter, and so with this being the center place, it's right off the freeway, and we can get things moved in and out all year long. This here is one of the crop rotations we have. It's winter wheat, and we also have safflower, and we also have summer fallow. This summer fallow you see is the fields are filled with the residue. This, like I mentioned before, is a great enhancer to stop the erosion. This here was the old drill that we used to have. It was a hoe drill, and we have rocks and things in here, so we've gone to a different drill now, and surprisingly, the drill, it doesn't do the best in rocks, but if you slow down, it'll drill what you need to. Areas here where our soils here are marginal. It's a test, as you can see here. Some of these are white chalky knolls up in here. Believe it or not, in this rotation that we've got, 2 years ago, some of our best wheat was growing up in this area. Just so happened to be the right year for it. We got the wheat up good in the fall. Then probably the most important thing was the pop-up fertilizer we put with the wheat when we planted. and that strengthened the wheat, went through the winter, no winter kill, no winter snow mold, and then we top dressed it in the spring, and it really did well. Best crop we've ever had on that area of the farm. That's another area of the marginal soils we have here. This here is some of the erosion that's come off from the farm. We're doing all we can to stop this by putting most of the fields in residue, along with the dams and dikes and terraces that we put in to stop the flow of the water. These are some of the things I won't mention right now, but this is harvesting some of the safflower, and needless to say, that safflower, when you harvest it, is kind of thorny. This is our stripper head. This is a stripper-headed straw cut next to the wheat itself, the standing wheat. When it's done right, it'll take the kernels right out of the top of the head. You can see that right there. This is D8 that Greg runs. This does a lot of our terrace work. Here's some more of the erosion. Here's some dams that Greg has built. This is a session similar to ours that the soil conservation group throughout the state came and visited the farm. We had a nice time then. As you see our trees out here, this is some of the beginning of those trees when they were planted bare root. You wouldn't think that now they're that size.